Okay, Charles LeBlanc here. Well, there's a story that's spreading like wildfire here in Fredericton. George Piers, the former executive or head one of the soup kitchen, whatever you want to call it, died in his sleep last night. This is not good. I mean, George Piers, many would know him, the farmer's market, selling eggs. And I was there this morning and I seen Joe. I said, "Where's George?" Never said a word, because I guess they told Joe, the family told Joe, don't tell anybody. Let the family, and everybody could be warned first. I told Joe, I said, "What's the matter? George is a wimp. He can't stand the cold." But anyway, I even took a picture of it, Joe. But anyway, never mind that. George Piers died. And he will be missed. I remember when I first arrived here at the soup kitchen in Fredericton. First time I went to the soup kitchen, I was having a meal. Then I saw by the coffee machine there was some milk. So I love milk. So I went and had a glass, and then I went to have another glass. And George was watching me. Then when I went for a third glass, George grabs the cup from me and said, "That's for coffee." And he didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. And so I got to know him. And George was watching me from far away when the blog started. And he realized that I remember it was awful. They had no forts, and I put on the blog, "We need some forts." Next thing you know, people call in for some forts. So George knew my blog could spread needy messages, and I remember we argue about. He didn't like me. He has so many stories. He didn't like me to use the word snobs. He didn't like that at all, because in his view, the snobs were very, very generous to the soup kitchen. He was a teacher. One day I found out what kind of teacher he was. Me and Michael McKay, some of you seen him there, tall fella there, the blind guy with the cane. Me and him started arguing about the French and English. He at the soup kitchen, because I was volunteering, and we were just going at it. And next thing you know, George, I never seen that in my life. He goes, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" That's the first time I see the other side of George. So I could just imagine how it was in the classroom. He got my ADHD attention, but we had so many chats that I will treasure for the rest of my life. I'll keep private. And if there's one thing about George, if I wanted some info and I wanted on something that was going on, George would give me a straightforward answer. And you could go to YouTube, you could write George Piers, go to YouTube, write George Piers, Piers, and Charles LeBlanc. You'll see all kinds of videos of me and George. And he knew when I said off the record, and it saved me a lot of problem on. There's always 20 sides to every story. And George, I was always value his side. It's going to be difficult to to walk through the Sukajin and through the farmers market and not seeing George selling eggs. Nice eggs too. Always. And every time he wanted to know something, he always, pushed me aside and. Well, I hope in the future that we have more George Piers. Sympathy to his family and friends. He'll be missed.